The wait is finally over. Tears of the Kingdom now has gameplay footage. Earlier today, Nintendo released a video with 10 minutes of series producer Eiji Aonuma showing off some of the stuff in the newest installment in the Zelda series, and oh my god, it was awesome. Now, unfortunately, since I want to get this video out as soon as possible, I won't have time to focus on everything. Instead, I decided to choose my 5 favorite takeaways from the gameplay presentation. And if you like this video, then why not consider subscribing? At the time of recording this, we're only about 260 away from the big 1,000, and I'd really like to hit that milestone before Tears of the Kingdom releases. Now that that's out of the way, here are 5 things that you might have missed from the Tears of the Kingdom gameplay trailer. First, let's talk about something we see pretty early on in the video. As Aonuma is riding around on the surface, he rides past someone or something that talks and says, "I need to reach my friend." It's hard to make out who or what is talking since Aonuma is going so fast, but if you pause the video at just the right second, you can see that it's actually a Korok wearing a large backpack that somewhat resembles the one that Beetle carries around in Breath of the Wild. This raises some questions. What is this little guy doing out of the Korok forest, and who are they looking for? Initially, I thought that they were just out on an adventure of their own with a big backpack full of supplies, but then Zeltic pointed something out on Twitter. They might be looking for the Great Deku Tree. Fans noticed back in the E3 2021 trailer that the Great Deku Tree was mysteriously absent from Hyrule, and after getting a look from the world above in this trailer, it does seem like something's up with the Lost Wood and the Korok Forest. So maybe the friend this little guy is looking for is their tree dad. Next up, let's talk about an icon we see on the minimap. Cave entrances. If you look closely at the map, you can see little entrances to caves. We know that these icons indicate caves because when Aonuma goes towards a cave to show off the Ascend ability, we can see that he's going towards one of these icons. What's more, some of them have little check marks next to them. This would mean that these caves are completable, and will more than likely act like mini dungeons with tasks for Link to complete, kind of like Breath of the Wild's shrines. The most exciting part, however, is what we don't see. When the gameplay starts, Aonuma's minimap on the surface is empty, indicating that he hasn't activated whatever the Sheikah Tower replacement for this game is. But he has done it in the Sky Island that we see in the video. This would mean that there are potentially a lot of caves for us to explore, and both in the sky and on the surface. This would also mean that the 2 underground shots of the Bokoblins mining and Link fighting the Stone Talus in the last trailer most likely occur in these caves, showing us what to expect from them. Judging by the appearance of the Stone Talus, it's likely that some of them will be combat trials, while others may require us to solve some puzzles, just like the shrines. Now that the caves are out of the way, let's talk about some of the other stuff we see on the map. Right off the bat, you'll notice that the minimap now has 3 numbers that indicate Link's latitude, longitude, and altitude. I can tell that this is going to be a huge help for people doing completionist guides of the game, showing where you can find all the hidden collectibles that are more than likely in the game. Next, let's focus on these 2 icons right here. YouTube compression isn't going to help here, but if you watch the trailer for yourself, you can see that there's an icon of what looks to be a battery, and a blue icon that's reminiscent of the completed shrines from Breath of the Wild. The battery icon probably has something to do with the mechanical parts that we can attach to our makeshift vehicles. Personally, I think it's a vendor of some kind, as the icon's style matches the vendor icons from the previous game. The blue icon, however, is a bit more mysterious though. Though if I had to guess, I'd say it's the big swirly rock things that I suggested were probably linked to Ganondorf harvesting souls or something. Given that it's blue, I'd say that these are probably our replacements for the Sheikah shrines, and that this one has been activated. These will most likely serve as our fast travel points, and not as a way to free the people of Hyrule's souls from Ganondorf's clutches. Oh well, you win some, you lose some. Another thing that I want to touch on is this guy right here. After Aonuma crosses the lake with his makeshift boat, the game briefly calls out something called a Ranger construct. Now, what's interesting to me is that when Link gets close, the Ranger construct doesn't seem to aggro onto him like the soldier constructs do. We also see another one a bit later when Aonuma enters the cave to show off the Ascend ability. From the looks of things, it appears to be tending to the plants, and once again, it doesn't make any effort to attack Link. So maybe some of the constructs on the Sky Islands are friendly. Admittedly though, in both cases, we aren't shown what happens if Link sticks around one for too long, so they could just be hostile enemies that do little things to make them feel more alive when they aren't trying to kill Link, kind of like the Bokoblins in Breath of the Wild. Still though, I think it would be really cool to be able to interact with some of these constructs without them trying to violently kill us. Finally, let's focus on the most exciting part of the trailer in my opinion. Near the beginning, when Aonuma kills the first construct and picks up its drops, he picks up something called a Zonai charge. Holy shit. After 4 long years of theorizing, we finally have confirmation that the Zonai are going to play a part in Tears of the Kingdom. This has huge implications for the rest of the game. If these constructs drop an item called a Zonai charge, that would imply that they're Zonai made. By extension, that would probably mean that the big guy we see in the 2021 trailer, and probably everything else we see on the Sky Islands, is Zonai made, which would then mean that the Zonai more than likely play a major role in the game's story. If that's the case, then we may finally have an answer to one of the Zelda series' greatest mysteries. What happened to the Zonai? I, for one, am... I can't believe that they actually confirmed this in such a tiny drop. Like, I'm going off script right now because I'm still blown away by it. Oh my god, Nintendo, you did good. And there you have it. Those were 5 things that you might have missed from the Tears of the Kingdom gameplay trailer. Admittedly, this was a lot different from my usual videos, because I really wanted to get this video out as soon as possible before the hype train dies down again. That, and I didn't feel like spending 4 hours editing a 20-minute video. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll be sure to see you guys in the next video. See ya!